Should you buy AMD stock over Nvidia?
It is AMD. I would add AMD.
AMD.
From game-changing processors to promising AI potential, AMD has been giving its rivals a run for its money in the tech market. But its meteoric rise isn't just about the tech. In fact, I'm talking about market strategies, innovative leaps, and of course, its soaring stock value. So stick around as I break down why AMD is the stock to watch, and why the reigning tech giant, Nvidia, might just have to sit this one out. Wall Street has been pretty optimistic about AMD stock, anticipating a blockbuster year ahead. Today, I am going to discuss its strengths in data center GPUs and CPUs, consumer CPUs for desktops and laptops, the company's gaming division, including GPUs for PCs and custom chips for game consoles, increasing AI potential and embedded solutions for markets like robotics and self-driving cars. And of course, how the market predictions have been in favor of AMD over Nvidia. Without further ado, let's get started. AMD MI300X AI Data Center GPUs. In the world of data centers, the data center GPU market is set to increase sevenfold in size during the next 9 years, boasting a compound annual growth rate of 24%. This means AMD is poised to ride the AI wave to big-time benefits, even if they just hang on to their modest 3% market share for data center GPUs. But let's be real, that's not what's in the cards. In fact, the company is aiming to grab a bigger slice of the pie in the coming quarters, and here's why. First up, Nvidia can't handle the insane market demand. As cloud service providers and supercomputing clusters keep buying the H100SS by the truckload, the wait times are stretching out to a year or more. So who are these companies going to turn to if they can't afford to wait that long? You guessed it, AMD. Now let's dive into the GPUs themselves. About a month ago, AMD revealed their MI300X, designed to go toe-to-toe with the H100S in both single and 8 GPU setups. This launch has literally set the tone for an epic showdown between AMD and Nvidia. According to AMD's big reveal, their MI300X outperforms the H100 by about 60% when running large language models. Nvidia wasn't about to take that lightly and shot back with a blog post disputing AMD's claims. Turns out, AMD's tests didn't include Nvidia's Tensor RT LLM, a software feature that boosts GPU performance specifically for these tasks. In fall 2023, right after Nvidia rolled out Tensor RT LLM, several industry analysts covered how it doubled the H100's inference performance, catapulting Nvidia ahead of the competition. With this software in play, the H100S actually run 25% faster than AMD's MI300X, not the other way around. But AMD wasn't backing down. They countered with their own blog post, redoing the tests with Nvidia's optimizations plus their own tweaks. This time, their results showed the MI300X still holding a 30% speed advantage over the H100S. Whether this holds true depends on the specific workload and the overall system. But AMD going toe-to-toe with Nvidia this early in the AI boom is huge. As a result, AMD is gearing up to ramp data center revenue up to a cool $2 billion. AMD's current AMD EPYC data center CPUs, 4th generation EPYC server processors, are trailblazers in the x86 data center CPU world, being the first to be built on TSMC's 5nm process. Running on AMD's Zen 4 architecture, these beasts pack up to a staggering 128 compute cores on a single chip. Another standout feature of AMD's server chips is their hefty L3 cache, a shared memory pool accessible to all cores for easy data transfer. By leveling up the number of cores and expanding shared memory, AMD has been steadily grabbing the market share from Intel since 2017. But with these 4th-gen chips, they've taken the game to a whole new level. Since rolling out these EPYC processors in 2022, AMD has more than doubled its server CPU market share, and revenue from these chips has skyrocketed by 50% quarter over quarter. And guess what? Prototype photos of their 5th-gen processors, codenamed Turin, are already surfacing online, showcasing some mind-blowing upgrades. These next-gen chips will be made with TSMC's 4nm N4P process and boast up to 192 cores. Plus, each core will have access to nearly double the shared memory compared to the current 4th-gen chips. Now, Intel isn't sitting silent either. Their Sierra Forest chips are set to debut in the first half of 2024, with a jaw-dropping 288 cores. That's 50% more than AMD's upcoming chips. But hold on, these are all efficiency cores, which come with trade-offs like no hyper-threading support. But for now, if AMD can keep grabbing a solid chunk of the data center market from Intel like they did in 2022 and 2023, their data center business is headed for a serious boom. AMD is currently at an interesting point as a company. Yup, the tech titan finds itself at an intriguing juncture, making up roughly equal top-line revenues from its 4 major business units. But it's the client revenues that are changing its game, growing over 40% year over year, and they're predicted to keep climbing for some solid reasons. First off, let's talk about the PC market. It's been facing a sharp decline for more than a decade, with global PC shipments dropping at a 4% annual rate from 2011 to 2019. Things only normalized a bit when the pandemic forced everyone to upgrade their home office setups. But soon after, PC shipments dipped again. Now market analysts are predicting a turnaround, expecting global PC shipments to grow by 8 to 10% annually in 2024 and 2025, thanks to the rise of AI-powered PCs. During the latest earnings call, AMD's CEO, Lisa Su, revealed that client revenue surged by 42% year over year as the PC market started to rebound and their Ryzen 7000 series chips were purchased like hotcakes. This trend looks set to continue with the upcoming Ryzen 8000 chips and Intel's Core Ultra processors, both featuring built-in NPUs.
And the new XDNA2 NPU.
NPUs, or neural processing units, are tailored to run the neural networks powering many of today's AI tasks. Our computers are already doing a lot of AI tasks, from blurring backgrounds on video calls to enhancing video game graphics with ray tracing and DLSS, deep learning supersampling. Throw in AI-driven tools and apps like Microsoft's Copilot, Adobe's Firefly, and Google's new AI workspace apps, and the demand for NPUs and AI PCs is set to increase. If AMD can ride this wave, they could see record-breaking client revenues, especially since the AI boom is forecasted to last well into the next decade and beyond. AMD's gaming division is also thriving, with revenues rising up about 5% quarter over quarter, and predicted for even greater growth in 2024. This upswing is partly thanks to the recovering PC market, which means more gamers are splurging on new gaming desktops and laptops. But the real game changer is the current generation of consoles, all powered by custom AMD chips. When the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X launched in 2020, they were harder to find than a unicorn. Scalpers had a field day, with prices soaring for anyone desperate enough to get their hands on one. Fast forward to now, and millions of gamers are just now snagging these consoles, 3 years after their release. This surge in console sales is setting records and boosting AMD's gaming revenues significantly. While this specific boom won't last forever, if enough gamers jump on the console bandwagon before 2025, AMD could see its gaming revenues hit an all-time high. AMD offers massive potential in the AI market. According to Grandview Research, the AI market generated an estimated revenue of $200 billion last year, and it is set to rocket at a compound annual growth rate of 37% until 2030. These jaw-dropping stats only mean that the industry could be sitting pretty at nearly $2 trillion by the end of the decade. Coming to Nvidia, it has a blockbuster year in 2023. The tech giant grabbed an estimated 90% market share in AI GPUs, leaving other players in the game to play catch-up. But hold on, AMD is gearing up to give Nvidia a run for its money. In December 2023, the company rolled out its shiny new MI300X AI GPU, designed to go toe-to-toe with Nvidia's H100. The chip has already wooed some big names in the tech market, and you can judge it by the fact that Microsoft and Meta platforms have already hopped on board as clients. The MI300X is engineered specially for generative AI workloads, capable of powering hefty language models like the Falcon 40 on a single chip, or as AMD calls them, accelerators. What's even more amazing is the fact that the Falcon 40 boasts 40 billion parameters, though it's still 150 billion shy of the now outdated GPT-30 from OpenAI. But wait, there's more. AMD plans to roll out the Instinct platform, an OCP-compliant board packed with 8 MI300Xs, giving Nvidia's HGX a run for its money. Built on AMD's CDNA3 architecture, this beast supports up to 192 GB of HBM3 memory. While AMD has kept the suspense on benchmarks and pricing, they're hyping the MI300X as a versatile powerhouse for everything from cloud to the edge to the endpoint. Alexander Harrowell, a principal analyst for advanced computing at AMD, points out that MI300X shines with its larger on-chip memory cache compared to its cousin, the MI300A. He also explains how the MI300X boasts 192 GB, outpacing the MI300A's 128 GB and Nvidia's H100 at 120 GB. Plus, it's a pure GPU, unlike the MI300A, which is more like Nvidia's Grace Hopper, a multi-chip module with both CPU and GPU. This seems to be the industry trend. AMD's doing it, Nvidia's doing it. Intel was doing it until they hit pause. Both chips pack a punch, I'm talking thousands of TOPS, and run hot. Nvidia is at 650 WTDP, with AMD leveling it up to 750 W. One of the biggest differences between Nvidia's H100 and AMD's new MI300X is that Nvidia's H100 has a solid head start. Nvidia unveiled the H100 in September 2022 and started shipping DGX H100 systems to customers in May 2023. Thanks to this head start and Nvidia's established dominance in AI GPUs, the MI300X might have a tough time shaking things up right away. But this doesn't mean that AMD's out of the game. Right now, everyone is after the GPUs. The buzz around generative AI, sparked by ChatGPT's success, has companies scrambling to invest in AI tech, making these chips hotter than ever. Big players like OpenAI, Adobe, Microsoft, and even Twitter are investing in GPUs to train their massive AI models. Take ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, which reportedly shelled out around $1 billion on Nvidia GPUs this year. GPUs are so scarce that investors have started hoarding them up for startups to speed up their work. Former GitHub CEO Nat Friedman and serial investor Daniel Gross bought thousands of GPUs to create the Andromeda cluster. This colossal computing system packs 2,512 H100s, allowing startups to train a 65 billion parameter version of the Llama AI model in just 10 days. However, analysts have started to put their trust in AMD's MI300X. Although Nvidia had a head start and many tech giants quickly hoarded up its GPU. As I've mentioned before, this is likely to create a market shortage which AMD would be glad to fill. For now, the tech titan is playing it cool, letting only key customers sample the chips. They've already started letting customers test the MI300A, which can handle HPC and AI workloads.
We truly designed this product for generative AI.
AMD's emerging technologies. There's no doubt that Nvidia has been on a tech spree. The company has been unleashing innovation after innovation and seems to have an upper hand against AMD on several fronts. Like their ray tracking tech has set a new standard in graphics, a trend likely to stick around. Besides this, they have also upscaled their DLSS, which is miles ahead of other alternatives available in the market. But the downside of these new technologies is that they often lack backward compatibility, a nightmare for consumers. Take DLSS, for instance. The latest version 3, including frame generation, only works with Nvidia's latest 40 series cards. So if you have spent money on a 20 or 30 series card in recent years, given the crazy graphic card prices, you'd be out of luck. While there are technical reasons behind this, it's still frustrating to see an expensive product become outdated in just a few years. I know there might be technical reasons for old cards not working on the latest technologies. It is still a hassle when an expensive product becomes obsolete after a few years. That's where AMD steps in with a different approach. No denying that Nvidia has promising arguments from a technical point of view. AMD takes the crown here by making the technology available to a wider audience. For instance, FreeSync works perfectly with a larger selection of monitors, often at a lower cost than G-Sync monitors. A clear example is the comparison between FSR and DLSS. While AMD's FSR works with Nvidia and Intel cards, DLSS is exclusive to RTX GPUs. Nvidia's strategy seemed to be about launching new features without considering existing customers' needs. True that AMD might lack a bit in the latest high-tech features, but it embraces open source's technologies and holds its ground in fundamental areas like rasterization performance and memory. And let's be real, while ray tracing is cool, not having it won't stop you from playing games. But without rasterization, you're out of luck, except for a few games that use path tracing. Without a doubt, Nvidia has been the driver of innovation due to the company's shift towards AI technologies. But AMD has taken a different route, focusing on the essentials. One of the best examples of their innovative approaches is the built-in video memory, which is crucial for higher resolutions and detailed gaming experiences. On the other hand, Nvidia seems to struggle with finding the right balance between new tech and solid basics. Case in point, the RTX 4060. Although it boasts strong ray tracing and DLSS 3, its 8 GB video memory falls short for modern games in Full HD, especially considering the memory demands of these technologies. AMD also seems to have the same memory features as seen in the Radeon RX 7600 with just 8 GB of RAM. But analysts have pointed out that AMD gets the memory configuration right, particularly in the mid-range and high-end segments. For instance, the company's RX 7900 XTX not only packs more video memory, but also comes at a lower price than Nvidia's RTX 4080. Plus, AMD cards frequently match or even outperform Nvidia in rasterization performance at similar price points. Now let's put aside the RTX 4060 for a moment. I mean, with a hefty price tag of $1,600, it's not even on my radar for a potential purchase. But you know what? For every Nvidia card out there, AMD has an equivalent that matches it in memory and rasterization performance, often at an affordable price. Of course, if you are more into ray tracing and DLSS is your go-to, then Nvidia is your undisputed champion here. Their dominance in these areas justifies their creative pricing strategies. Still, my vote goes to AMD that has its own set of winning arguments like solid performance, accessible alternative technologies, and ample memory, all at a more attractive price, especially compared to Nvidia. If these classic features are what you have been looking for, then giving AMD a serious look for your next PC upgrade is a no-brainer. If you ignore these hardware specifications for a moment, you might still be amazed to know that AMD excels in the software department too. Many seasoned Nvidia users have expressed their frustrations about the inability of their products to consolidate all functions into a single program. Like if you want to change your monitor resolution, or refresh rate, activate G-Sync, or use dynamic super resolution, you'll need to dive into the Nvidia control panel. It may sound crazy, but the company hasn't updated it in 2 decades. But if you want to optimize a game or use Shadowplay for recording or streaming, you have to switch to GeForce Experience. It's like navigating a labyrinth, and for newcomers, it's a frustrating ordeal requiring you to use 2 different apps just to find the right setting. Plus, GeForce Experience demands a user account. Meanwhile, AMD offers a refreshingly simple solution with their Adrenaline Edition software. Install it alongside the driver, and you're good to go. No login required. All functions are neatly organized in one application, making it a breeze to use. It looks like the company's here to play the big game as it has been securing investments in Europe, and one of their notable projects is a collaboration with the Irish government. AMD is aiming to dominate its own area of AI. Although the company still has to make substantial profit over its investments, the recent results suggest it's on the right track. In the fourth quarter of 2023, AMD's revenue surged 10% to $6 billion, surpassing analyst predictions by $60 million. The company's AI-centric data center segment also showed a significant growth, with a whopping 38% revenue growth. But the tech giant is not stopping at AI chips. It's also eyeing for potential expansion in the world of AI-powered PCs, with PC shipments set for a major rise in 2024, thanks in part to AI integration. According to IDC, AMD's diversification strategy looks smart. A report from Canalys even predicts that by 2027, a whopping 60% of all PCs shipped will be AI-enabled. If AMD can carve out a niche in the AI PC market, it stands to rake in some serious cash as the sector booms and demand skyrockets. After suffering a major decline due to inflation spikes, the PC market is finally bouncing back. PC sales took a 16% hit in 2022 and continued to slide through most of 2023. However, recent data signals positive developments. According to industry analysts, PC shipments saw a modest 0.3% surge in the fourth quarter of 2023, marking the first growth in over a year. This market upswing is mirrored in AMD's sales, with its PC-focused client segment enjoying a whopping 62% revenue surge in Q4 2023. With the AI and PC markets evolving, AMD is riding a wave of promising growth. Clearly, AMD has been edging over Nvidia when it comes to market strategies and innovative leaps. But are the company's stocks equally promising as its products? Let's do a fundamentals analysis to find that out. Understanding the fundamentals. Fundamental analysis is indeed crucial for assessing the viability of a buy and hold investment in a company like AMD. Let's delve into some of the key fundamental metrics. 1. Price to earnings ratio, PE ratio. This ratio compares the company's current share price to its earnings per share, EPS. A lower PE ratio suggests the stock may be undervalued. AMD's current PE ratio is around 37, which is higher than the industry average, but reflects the market's positive outlook on its growth prospects. 2. Price to book value, PBV. This ratio compares the company's market capitalization to its book value, total assets minus intangible assets and liabilities. A lower PBV ratio may indicate that the stock is undervalued. AMD's PBV ratio is around 19, which is relatively high and suggests that the stock may be trading at a premium. 3. Price to sales ratio, PS ratio. This ratio compares the company's market capitalization to its total sales over a designated period. A lower PS ratio can indicate a potentially undervalued stock. AMD's PS ratio is around 10, which is higher than the industry average, but reflects optimism about its revenue growth. 4. Earnings per share, EPS. This metric shows the company's profitability on a per-share basis. Higher EPS indicates greater profitability. AMD's EPS has been growing steadily, indicating strong financial performance. 5. Debt. It's important to consider a company's debt levels. High debt can be a concern, as it may indicate financial instability. AMD's debt-to-equity ratio is relatively low, indicating a manageable level of debt. In conclusion, while AMD's fundamentals show some positive signs, such as strong revenue growth and manageable debt levels, the stock's high valuation metrics suggest that it may be trading at a premium. AMD stock potential analysis. While AMD faced challenges after its second quarter results in 2023, it is worth mentioning that the company managed to surpass Wall Street's expectations. Despite a 19% decline in net revenues to $5.4 billion and a 44% drop in EPS, these figures exceeded analyst estimates. The market responded negatively to AMD's softer-than-expected third-quarter guidance, leading to a stock drop of around 10%. However, this decline may indicate that potential weaknesses in the third quarter are already priced into the stock. Analysts predict an earnings decline for the second quarter of 2024. But AMD is expected to rebound with EPS growth in the final quarter of the 2024 fiscal year. Among tech stocks, AMD is a standout growth pick. The company is expected to experience strong forward revenue growth of 18.47%, nearly double the sector median. Additionally, its forward EBITDA growth is projected at 15.11%, surpassing the sector median of 8.06%. Looking ahead, AMD's forward long-term EPS growth is an impressive 30.65%, exceeding both its own 5-year average of 28.38% and the sector median of 13%. These growth forecasts are supported by recent product launches and innovations, such as the MI300X, its powerful GPU designed for generative AI, aimed at competing with Nvidia in this market. AMD's dominant position in the gaming console processors market, with an 83% share, and its strong presence in high-performance computing further brighten its growth prospects. Analysts are optimistic about AMD's future, with an average strong buy rating and a mean target price of $141.03, suggesting a potential upside of approximately 33% from the current stock price. Out of 28 analysts covering AMD, 21 rated as a strong buy, 1 as a moderate buy, and 6 as a hold. The tech industry is advancing rapidly, and AMD is at the forefront, supplying high-powered chips to various markets. Partnering with companies across the tech sector, AMD's hardware is used in cloud platforms, gaming consoles, laptops, custom-built PCs, and more. Investing in AMD offers a stake in multiple growing industries. The company's stock has soared nearly 730% since 2019, outperforming major indices like the Nasdaq Composite and S&P 500. With the continued growth of AI, AMD's stock is poised for further gains. All in all, AMD presents a compelling investment opportunity due to its positive earnings performance, impressive growth prospects, and the optimism of analysts. The semiconductor industry's increasing importance in AI and AMD's strong positioning within it make the stock particularly attractive for investors seeking long-term growth potential. Is AMD stock a buy in 2024? Let's dive into the stock situation. As of today, AMD stock is trading around $115 per share, witnessing a sky-high price-to-earnings ratio of 520. Yes, you heard that right, 520. However, if we consider the forward price-to-earnings ratio based on Wall Street's earnings projections for the next year, that figure drops to about 26. This steep price tag today is because investors are betting on AMD's earnings to skyrocket over 20 times in the next 12 months. Given all the factors we've discussed, I'd say that's a pretty reasonable expectation. AMD is perfectly positioned to continue boosting its data center GPU revenues by capturing a large consumership of the blooming AI data center market. Their current and next-generation EPYC CPUs are steadily eating into Intel and Nvidia's market share, promising even greater data center revenues. The PC market, set to rebound for the first time in over a decade thanks to AI, will see AMD's Ryzen 8000 chips accelerating their client revenue growth beyond the overall market rate. Meanwhile, AMD's gaming division is riding high on the PC market recovery and record-breaking game console sales. Their embedded division, the fastest-growing segment, is on a trajectory to become AMD's biggest revenue driver within a few quarters if it maintains this pace. In short, AMD is in a great spot across multiple fronts, setting the stage for continued growth and success. With that said, AMD's stocks present a compelling opportunity as compared to Nvidia. From the company's diverse business model to its strong position in the AI sector, it is here to stay in the game. So are you willing to invest in AMD stocks as well? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for joining us today. Like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated.